Alright, I have like about 6 to 7 questions.
Okay.
And then, so what's your name?
My name is Malcolm Chambers.
Alright, where do you work?
I'm a police officer with the Harbor Police Department.
Okay. What's the worst DUI crash you've seen?
Ooh. Have to be a fatal collision. Definitely, that's the worst I've ever seen, where a drunk driver drove off of the road and killed 2 pedestrians.
Alright. Have you met repeated offenders?
Yes.
What would you tell people who are debating on drinking and driving?
That it's just not worth it. Not only from getting arrested and potentially getting a fine and losing your license, and potentially hurting someone too. And that'll change your life forever.
What's the #1 sign you see that indicates somebody is drunk driving?
Nowadays, I would say it's either speeding or driving too slow or weaving. Weaving's kind of goes both ways nowadays because there's so many people on their phones.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say someone weaving is drunk. But weaving was, back in the day, was a big one. But now it's either you're driving too fast for conditions or too slow for conditions. People have sat through red lights or sit through a green light because they don't realize where they are and what's going on. I've seen that.
Where do you see the most drunk drivers?
The most? Like where, as in physical location?
Yes.
I'd say the beach areas.
Beach areas. What time is the most common to see drunk drivers?
Well, if it's a holiday weekend, it could be all day. But generally, if you're going to see like a lone drunk driver, it's going to be usually after the bars close or somewhere thereabouts, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, someone trying to get home with all their windows down and their bright lights on.
I see.
Trying to get home.
What do you think the BAC limit should be?
I think the BAC limit is good where it is now. It should be strictly enforced because there's a lot of play in it, depending on if your blood alcohol is rising or your blood alcohol is going down. So depending on when you've taken your last drink, depends on when you start to burn off the alcohol in your body. It takes the average person an hour to burn off 1 point of alcohol in their body. So from the time they took their last drink, if they were an 08 then, they potentially could be an 09 in an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Interesting. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming.
All right.